soldier of fortune. Gotta walk through a fire for what's important. The warrior's blood through your veins is coursing. Kill for hire, soldier of fortune. The whole world's watching every move. Take your shot, don't act the fool. All you got and all you ever need is one bullet in the chamber. Really needs to take your aim, but ain't nobody gonna save you. So what you gonna do? Ain't nobody gonna save you. So what you gonna do? Do or die, you're a mercenary. One of a kind that you're burdened to carry. Go and make them proud, do what's necessary. Oh no, do or die, you're a mercenary. Now the whole world's watching every move. Take your shot, don't act the fool. All you gotta one bullet in the chamber. Brain needs to take your aim, but ain't nobody gonna save you. So what you gonna do? One bullet in the chamber. Brain needs to take your aim, but ain't nobody gonna save you. So what you gonna do? Now the whole world's watching every move. Still your heart so much to prove.
Well, Ellis, this road course is a classic, an old school road course that drivers love coming to. It's a 4-mile course, lots of elevation changes, very unique corners. It should be a great show tonight. We expect about 16 laps on a tank of fuel. 37 laps around here. It doesn't sound like a lot, but with this track being 4 miles, Ellis, it's a pretty good distance race, and great field of drivers tonight, great field of cars tonight. 22 cars here around this 4-mile road course. Should be an awesome show all night for our viewers.
Hey folks, so welcome back here to Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. You heard Chris, but you didn't hear me. We apologize for the technical difficulties. Long story short, this racetrack has a long history, and it's a long track with a lot of elevation changes. We're going to be watching all of that tonight. Almost every series in motorsports in America has visited Road America, appropriately named. Chris, tonight, these Xfinity Series drivers for the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series, the Mystic Racing League, they're taking on a tough race. Before we talk about the stories to follow, let's talk about the points, because it got a little tough last week for Adam Holston, who came into Rockingham tied with Evan Janik for the points lead. But Janik really survived the night at Rockingham in better shape than Adam Holston did and extended his points lead out to 19 points. But just looking at the rest of the field, it is still close, with several drivers you can see being just barely outside of the playoffs looking in. All the drivers in yellow are locked in. The drivers in red are on the bubble. They're right outside of the playoff picture, which will take place over the final 10 races of this season. Win and you're in. There's still lots of spots, Chris, for drivers to qualify their way into the playoffs here in Mystic Racing League. We've got to get to the stories now, though, because the clock is ticking away here on qualifying. Several stories to follow on the evening. The first one of the night really being the fact that drivers are going to have to really be careful to manage their cars around what is a pretty intense racetrack. Lots of braking zones for drivers to look out for.
Yeah, a lot of braking zones, and the curbing on the inside of these corners and the outside of these corners. These drivers have to be careful not to let that catch them out here, Ellis. It can make for a very difficult night if that curbing upsets the car and maybe causes you to have a collision with another driver who is close to you.
You got to use them, but you can't use them too much. Easier said than done. Also, lots of braking zones. Drivers going to be on the lookout for the dive bomb tonight. What exactly does that mean?
Dive bomb is when a driver shows the nose to a driver that's in front of them before they're even up there, trying to show that they are going to try to outbrake their competitor into the next corner. It's an aggressive move, but it's a move that drivers who are really good on the brakes are really good at. So we might see some aggressive drivers attempt to possibly dive bomb their competitors tonight.
And part of the reason that is, Chris, you can't wait around. There are no stage cautions on road courses here in Mystic Racing League, so there's not going to be any catch-up cautions, really, very much, I don't think we'll see tonight based on how typically we do road course races. So drivers are going to have to be on it to not lose track with each other, not lose track with the leaders. So keep an eye out for that sense of urgency. And also, big question, can any ringer seize the opportunity? Can a driver who typically we might see in the top 5, top 10, top 15, or maybe even further back on our oval tracks where drivers are just making left-hand turns, can they get in the picture tonight, mix it up, and maybe go after a win to lock their way into the chase? This is going to be an opportunity for an upset for a lot of drivers. And Chris, just looking on the charts, we've got some drivers in the top 10 that I think could get the job done tonight that we haven't seen up front as much on the oval. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that story. With all that being said, qualifying getting ready to wrap up here in just a couple minutes, Chris. This is a really the longest race in terms of the racetrack that we've seen all season amongst ovals or road courses. What do drivers have to do to lock in over the course of a 4-mile lap? That's longer than some people's commute to work.
Yeah, it is. It's a difficult, it's difficult to try to survive that first lap on a road course, especially down into turn 1 here. You got a pretty long front straightaway here at Road America. And so these drivers, they've got to be able to survive all the way down into turn 1 and that first lap. If you can make it through the first lap, Ellis, and, you've qualified up there near the front, you might find yourself in a pretty good position for the rest of the race. From there on out, Ellis, for some drivers, a road course, you talk about the ringers. Now, for some drivers, this race right here, they are outside of their element. They're outside of their comfort zone. So, we've got some people here who are just looking to survive. And if they can survive and they can just keep all 4 wheels on the track here, they might find themselves, in a pretty good position at the end of this thing. They might find themselves in a better finishing position than what they run for a lot of the race. Track is also super narrow, Ellis. It's a very narrow road course. Not a lot of surface area on the course right here. There are some runoff areas, but not many. Like I said, it's kind of an old school circuit where there's gravel traps, sand traps, and grass all around. So Very, very difficult. A lot of fun though, very scenic, as you're going to see as we start looking at some of these awesome camera shots around Road America.
There's going to be lots to keep an eye on visually off the track, but more importantly on the track tonight, Chris. We'll be walking through a lap with you at Road America later on, so the fans watching at home can see exactly how challenging and tricky America's iconic road course is here. Speaking of tricky, on the pole tonight, Evan Janik, your points leader, starting with a good view tonight, Chris. We're going to try to hit him up and see if we can't get a word with him in our pace lap here. We'll see if we can get him in. The Discord driver's going to be getting ready to grid momentarily. See if I can cue him up here. Evan Janik's in 5-star racing. I'll have to remember that so I can move him back. Man, I lost my opportunity to manually move him. Give me 1 second. Chris, you might need to fill for a minute while I'm fumbling around with Discord.
Yeah, and as Ellis is doing that right here, we've got the running order right here on the left-hand side of your screen. That's Evan Janik on the front row. Chris Mefford, who we've seen with some speed, but we haven't seen him very often. He's going to be starting on his outside pole, Ellis, so possibility of an opportunity race for him tonight to be able to, have a good finish.
All right, well, speaking of front row, let's go ahead and talk to Evan Janik, our pole sitter and our championship points leader. Evan, this is Ellis and Chris in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man, good qualifying effort. Good lap you got in there in that black number 71. 37 laps tonight. What's it going to take to keep locked in all 37 of those laps, even after starting from the front row?
Stay on track and avoid everybody else going off track. I don't know if you could see during the practice and qualifying, but iRacing's not most recent update, but one of the more recent ones, they added gravel and stuff being left on the track for people going off track. So after lap 1, the entire track is going to be littered with sand. So just keep an egg under that gas pedal and just keep it on the road.
Do you expect anyone to get aggressive with the passing tonight in some of these aggressive braking zones?
Yeah, especially within their first couple laps, because we don't have any stage cautions now on road courses. So once we get spread out, it's going to be really hard to pass and keep up. So it's really going to be tire management. So first couple laps, definitely going to be on the aggressive side.
Well, as you get rolling, I got one last question for you. Adam Holston is your closest competitor in the championship, the regular season championship right now. How important to you is that regular season championship, and do you race Adam a little bit differently than you would the rest of the field?
No, he's still a teammate, so we're working together just like normal, giving pointers when I can and trying to learn from him when I can. So just head down and go forward, and we're just going for it, both of us.
All right, man. Well, good luck out there. We'll look forward to seeing you out front tonight.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, so we heard from Evan Janik, your pole sitter. Let's go ahead and see if we can't cue up Adam Holston here, who's going to be starting a little bit further back. Before we do that, in fact, let's go ahead. You see the qualifying order scrolling through. Go ahead and bring in Adam here real quick. Hey, Adam Holston, it's Ellis and Chris in the Slingshot booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, we just got done talking to your teammate, Evan Janik, points leader. You're second, starting a little bit further back tonight in the 8th position. What do you got to do if you're going to find your way up to the front by the end of these 37 laps?
Well, I just really got to learn how to run road courses. That's the big thing. I'm not too big on road courses, never had too much luck in the past, so I've got a lot of stuff I need to learn here.
Well, man, what are you worried about most tonight out there on the road course?
I think I'm worried most about the marbles that are going to get thrown on the track here. It's going to make the conditions a lot tougher to race in, and really that, and just more worried about staying on the track than being fast.
Man, we'll keep an eye out on that number 8 car. We'll see you later on. We might be talking to you at the end. Good luck out there, my friend.
All right, hope to see you.
Yes, sir. All right, Chris. So we heard from Adam Holston. The rest of the field, you saw Evan Janik starting the pole. You mentioned Chris Medford, new face on the outside pole tonight. Christian Barnes going to be third. Andrew Shobe, that 69, good qualifying effort by him in fourth. Andrew Allen, another newcomer, starting in fifth tonight in the 96. Gavin Henson, we've seen him be consistently up front, hasn't necessarily gotten the finishes he's wanted to. Maybe tonight is the night for a breakout performance or maybe even a win for the number 39. Ronnie Foster is going to be starting in the 6th position. Adam Holston, we talked to him in 8th. Aaron Espy, 9th. 10th is going to be Reggie Kime. You can see him there in the number 9 car. Alex Pollock, we're going to be looking at that heart rate tonight on the driver of the number 92. Right now sitting at around 78
Well, that's actually Brett
beats
Wren.
per minute. Oh, sorry, Brett Wren. My bad. Got to keep up with this. Stephen Gill going to be starting 12th in the 01. David Moyer 13th in the 47. We saw him have some speed early at Rockingham, but had a tough race later on. Looking to come back from that. Gino Volante, also tough race last week, showcased some speed. We might see him climb into the top 10 before the end of the night. Jacob Cochran, Chris, last week's winner, goes from top to now 15th. He's got a tall order in front of him if he's going to find himself back up at the front. Derek Jewett had speed, heartbreaking loss last week at Rockingham, finished second, best finish of the season. He's going to be starting 16th. It's Wisaki, Hunt, Zukov, and then looking through the rest of the field. Sorry, my Discord was screwing up a little bit. Brett Wren, we were watching his heart rate, going to be starting 20th. Zach White, 21st, and Brandon Willard, 22nd. Chris, I believe we are getting ready for the green flag. It's a long uphill climb here at Road America, 60 degrees of elevation, but the 71 for the first time tonight sees that flagman wave the green flag. We're under green flag conditions here at Road America. Let's go racing. 71 of Janix got Chris Medford to his outside. They're going to head down towards this hard right turn. Who's going to blink? Evan Janik goes down into turn 1 to take a clear lead, but Medford might have gotten a better run out, Chris. He's going to have the position down to the inside when they make this turn 3 right-hander. Not going to be aggressive, though. Early on, drivers pumping the brakes, taking it a little bit easy. I like to see that, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely cannot win the race on the first lap, but you can lose it. You will throw your race away if you find yourself off in the dirt here early in the race with no cautions tonight.
Yeah, I think Reggie Kime, Chris, might have already had some trouble, if I'm not mistaken. Might have had an off-track experience through turn 3. Now they head down into this left-hand corner. It's Janik Medford, now the 27 of Christian Barnes, third. But look at Show, makes the inside move by Andrew Allen in the 96. Great little battle here for the 4th position. They continue down some of these long straightaways.
Yeah, Allen gets out in front of Shobe right there. Great qualifying run from Andrew Shobe tonight. If I'm not mistaken, Ellis, I believe he mentioned that he is a pretty good road racer earlier in this season, so this is one that he probably had marked on his calendar.
I think you're absolutely right. One of those ringers who might look at tonight as an opportunity to pull off the upset. Right now, top 5 single file. Looking a little bit further through the field, Chris, everyone's pretty much gotten organized for the most part. Not seeing really anyone have trouble since Reggie Kime had that one car off track, Chris. That's the 01, I believe, Stephen Gill in trouble there.
We'll go back if we can see what happened to Stephen right here in that 01 machine. Here he is right here. We're going to see if we can go back and see what maybe happened to Steven. Oh, yeah, he got a little bit loose right here. Cranks it down right there through the grass, releases the brake. Not much contact on that inside wall, and he's going to keep on trucking.
He's going to keep on trucking. Narrow track, but a lot of green space off to the sides, Chris. They're right now headed through the final corner, getting ready to come uphill, that massive elevation change to finish the first lap. And you can see just from this shot how much the field has stretched out, but the challenges will remain all night long. Janik in the lead, Medford about 2 seconds back. Drivers just kind of taking it easy at this point. I say that as we watch a couple cars struggle around the track right now. That 96 of Andrew Allen, newer driver to Mystic Racing, leaving one car loose off the corner there, but holding his own right now off in the 3rd position. Got by Christian Barnes, who's currently dropped back to 4th.
Yeah, he made that pass on Christian Barnes. Not sure what happened to Barnes, if he had a moment or if Andrew Allen maybe did an out-braking maneuver, but put Allen up to 3rd right here, Ellis. And sort of sneaking up on the rear bumper right here of Chris Medford. Look to see if he can put some pressure on the driver of the 46. Ellis, a lot of times road course racing, it's not necessarily about, the same types of tactics on ovals. Sometimes you're just trying to pressure that driver into a mistake on the road course because there's just a lot more opportunities to make a mistake.
14 opportunities exactly, Chris, to make a mistake. And when you're looking in your mirror, trying to watch that dive bomb, as it likely is Chris Medford will increasingly begin to do over the next lap or so, you got to worry about what's in front of you and what's out back. Watching this great battle right now for the second position, the 96 of Andrew Allen, a fairly newcomer to Slingshot Racing. In fact, I'm not even sure if I've got any finishes for Allen. Actually, he's raced 2 races, Texas and Rockingham, 22nd and 24th. So this is a great opportunity tonight for Andrew Allen to get that season going after kind of a late start. Running in 3rd position right now, Chris. Brett Wren, Zach White might have just had some issues as well through these difficult corners around Road America. I think we're going to be saying those words many times tonight. Drivers having issues. Keep an eye on turn 8. That's going to be one of the hot spots based on our experience where we see lots of drivers have issues. Just looking around the track right now to see where these drivers are struggling the most.
Yeah,
by the way, everyone, welcome in the chat. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Turn 8 is a very, very troublesome spot. That is the turn that leads right into the carousel. We'll do a lap a little bit later on to sort of show everybody all the unique areas and spots on this racetrack. But yeah, that's a very, very difficult spot, and that's one we'll have to keep our eyes on here all night as Gavin Henson, maybe he's putting a little bit of pressure right here on Adam Holston.
Yeah, that's a battle right now for the 6th position. Holston had already gained 2 positions, up 2 on the night after starting 8th. Gavin Henson looking to get one of those back. It just lost it to Adam Holston a moment ago, but that number 39 seems to have found a bit of fire underneath the hood as he closes the distance just a little bit on Adam Holston, 2nd place in points right now. Watching Derek Jewett in that number 45. Jewett maybe didn't have the starting spot that he would have wanted tonight, Chris, but currently up to 11th. 5 spots gained for the driver, that number 45 second. We mentioned it, heartbreaker at Rockingham last week, but he's running some of the fastest laps on the track right now, up 5 positions already.
Yeah, I was watching him on the timing and scoring right here, and it seemed like, yeah, he had some pretty good pace right there, so we'll have to watch his climb up through the field. Oh, Aaron Espy kind of misses the corner a little bit, goes a little bit wide. That's going to enable Derek Jewett to... Oh, they make some contact!
Contact between Jewett's right front and Aaron Espy's left rear almost sent both cars careening into the grass.
Gravel all over the track.
Jewett, and that's one thing we heard, Chris, Adam Holston, or Evan Janik, I believe, talk about in pre-race was a real concern for the debris that was being blown up onto the track with some off-course experiences by drivers and some of the marbles that also might be wearing off those tires as they head through Johnsonville, Speedville, the really last sector of the track, just like the carousel. You mentioned it just a moment ago, Chris, and those drivers struggled through that sector in the lead up to the carousel, as we kind of thought might be the case.
Yeah, the carousel, just a long sweeping right-hander that, requires a lot of patience, Ellis. You got to be really patient on the throttle right there. You want to jump right back into the gas, but that will really reward the drivers, that part of the track, the drivers who are patient on throttle and wait for it, as Evan Janik drives down the front stretch here all through the gravel that is left on the track from the final corner, turn 14.
And what kind of impact does that really have on the tires as he heads down into turn 1 of that heavy right-hander? Is he nervous?
Oh, definitely, yeah, because, with these tires picking up more and more temperature over the course of this run right here, that just makes them more and more sticky. And any type of, loose marble from like rubber buildup, that's sometimes like when you see the rubber buildup on an oval and the driver up on the high lane and drivers are a little bit tentative about going up there. It's kind of like the same mentality here. You don't want to drive through that gravel, but sometimes, it's right in the racing line, as you saw right there. You don't really have a choice.
Don't really have much of a choice. Evan Janik really just doing what he can to avoid some of that tire rubber buildup and debris that's coming off track. Almost brings up a little bit of his own right there. But watching this battle right now develop between Christian Barnes and Andrew Allen, Barnes has kind of put it back on Allen here, Chris. We saw Allen have the first couple of laps be pretty fast. Now on lap 4, Christian Barnes looks like he might have gained the upper hand. Allen a little bit loose off that corner after going wide.
Yeah, definitely. It looked like Christian Barnes really is getting through the center of the corner really well. He hit the apex nicely back there. I believe that was on turn 5 before, but yeah, he is.
I think you're right.
Yeah, he's definitely navigating the speedway very, very well right now and putting some pressure on Andrew Allen right here. You can definitely burn up the tires here on a road course, Ellis. This is not any different than an oval in that respect, but what I have experienced, Ellis, with these Xfinity cars is burning up the rear tires seems to be kind of like the struggle, especially on a big, fast road course like this one. You might burn up the rear tires before you start burning up the front ones, and that's all has to do with how aggressive you are on the throttle.
Throttle management is going to be key here. Right now, you're watching Andrew Allen and that number 96. Just try to hold off that black number 27 of Christian Barnes. And just to talk about Christian Barnes for a minute, he's a driver who we've seen up front a good bit this season. 5 top 5s on the season for the driver of the number 27. 7 top 10s. Average finishes inside the top 10, Chris. So he's third in points, really trying to chase down Evan Janik and Adam Holston. We haven't seen him get that elusive win this season, but that 27 is doing everything he can to make a play for it tonight and maybe solidify his way into the championship. He's got a good chance as it is on points, but he would like to probably get that win to guarantee himself a spot in the chase for the championship, those final 10 races of the season as we ride around with him right now, making that corner, just trying to do everything he can to get to turn number 4 here underneath the cheese truck, as I call it.
Yeah, driving underneath that Sargento cheese right there, and still got his sights set right there on Andrew Allen, not letting him get too far away. Meanwhile, let's got a little battle right here for the 6th spot. A little bit further back behind these guys right here. Adam Holston, our number 2 points man right here. Feeling some pressure still from Gavin Henson. Henson not letting Holston get too far away. Watching right here from the rear bumper of Holston. You can see Henson right there under braking. Gains a little bit of ground right there and through the center of the corner.
Lots of ground gained by Gavin Henson as we ride on board. That 39 is getting extra large right now in the rear view mirror of Adam Holston. 2nd place in points right now. Gavin Henson having a good little run tonight. He's had some good ones over the season. 9 races run, Chris. He's got an average finish of 14th. 3 top 10s this season, 1 top 5. I believe that top 5 was at Auto Club Speedway earlier in the season, but he's had some good finishes. A couple 6th place finishes. Finished last week at 22nd at Rockingham. Probably going to be looking to do a little bit better on that tonight. And right now, sitting pretty as he goes under that Mission Tortilla sign down through. This is Canada Corner. Am I right?
Yeah, this is the kink right here, Ellis. They're making their way through the kink right here. Yeah, now they're making their way down this long straightaway that is Kettle Bottoms right here. Some twists and turns in that. Coming up on Canada Corner right here, Ellis, a very hard right-hander. And looks like Holston's a little bit wide, sort of locked him up a little bit. That's going to give Henson a shot.
Henson gets off the track as well. Had a little bit of an opportunity, but probably saw it flash before his eyes for just a moment as they make the final turn 14, getting ready to make that right-hander to come back down towards the fans on that highly elevated climb up the front speedway, or at the up the front straightaway, I should say, here at Road America. Chris, we should mention 4 laps left in this stage. The top 5 in the running order at the end of stage 1 at lap 10 will be awarded 5 points. I should say just points for the general regular season points, I should say. So right now, Janik, Medford, Allen, Barnes, and Shobe would be the drivers. But, Chris, one battle going on right now. We watched Andrew Allen working his way by. Christian Barnes, or at least trying to. He's down to the inside in this left-hander.
Yeah, I think it's actually the other way around. I think Barnes is trying to pass Allen right here. He gets a little bit loose under braking, locks up the rears a little bit. They're still side by side, Ellis, into the next. Oh, Barnes in the grass.
Barnes very loose, and you kind of saw it there. I was going to ask Chris, what can Andrew Allen do to maybe put the pressure on Christian Barnes? Can you use your car at all to kind of make the driver go wide and put them in an uncomfortable position? Is that fair play here in road course racing in these stock cars?
Yeah, I definitely think that it is. It seems like it is, and you know, that's that right there was just a situation where Christian Barnes had position in the previous corner, but in the next corner when he was still side by side, Andrew Allen had the position, had the faster line. So, you know, that's why it's so important that when you do get side by side to try to complete the pass as quickly as possible, so that way you're not on the outside line in the next set of corners.
Speaking of outside line, Gavin Henson looking to see if he can't work his way to the outside line of Adam Holston, Chris. They're headed down to this final sector of the track. That's a battle going on for the sixth position, and you can see, I feel like Gavin Henson's got that number 8 of Adam Holston right where he wants him as they head down this long straightaway towards Canada Corner.
Yeah, you saw Henson throttle up right there through the kink. He's really getting through that section of the track very, very nice. Look at all the gravel, Ellis. There's gravel all over the place.
This is crazy. The particle effects are, I don't think I've seen anything like this on a road course in a while, just for barely off roads. Hey, we appreciate everyone joining in the chat right now. If you're watching, we hope you are enjoying what you're seeing. Road course racing here live at Road America. We got Connor in the chat. We got Jeffrey Fisher. Appreciate Jeffrey Fisher subscribing. Hopefully he enjoys getting this live racing content every single week. Connor and Bruh is in the chat as well. Man, I'm a school teacher if I hear bruh one more time. Bruh. Right now, Connor Lyons says, hey, who thought Bristol Motor Speedway Cup race was boring? I think I might raise my hand from behind the mic right now. I think it was more boring than what we're seeing right now here as we watch Evan Janik. What'd you say, boring, Chris? And you switched to the lead, Evan Janik, out 5 seconds. Was that some coded messaging there?
Not at all. No, I mean, hey, if I'm a race car driver and I'm in Evan Janik's position, I want it to be as boring as possible because that means I'm just doing a really good job out here.
Evan Janik doing a hell of a job right now. 3 laps before the end of stage 1. Not going to get a caution. No stage cautions here at the road courses, but he's being chased right now by Chris Medford, who, Chris, I saw him gain about 0.2 of a second a couple corners ago. So keep an eye on that 46. Running lap times comparable, Chris. If I'm looking at the lap charts right now, we got a lot of drivers running very similar laps. With the top 2, they're pretty competitive with each other. They are within 1/10 of a second on lap times. Medford might have something for Evan Janik as we get rolling here on lap number 7 of the Slush Puppies 150 at Road America. Everyone in the chat, thanks for joining. We're going to do some trivia here shortly. See if you can't take home a free Kyle Busch Lenovo RCR diecast car. We'll explain the rules of the trivia in just a little bit, but right now we mentioned Evan Janik up front. Looking through the field, Chris, I think is now maybe a good opportunity to show these viewers what a lap, or let's talk about this battle between Christian Barnes and Andrew.
This battle won't go away.
A lap around, yeah, it has not died down one bit.
Yeah, these drivers there putting on one heck of a show right here. Andrew Allen, seen that car step out sideways a few times right here. Christian Barnes can get kind of close to him, but can't quite get that run on him to complete the pass. Here they go up the hill, Ellis, coming up towards the flag stand. That really shows that elevation right there. Not too far behind those guys. Andrew Shobe getting a little bit closer also to the 3rd and 4th place drivers.
Yeah, Andrew Shobe back in 5th. We mentioned him being a road course ringer, doing his best to
potentially. Barnes sideways. Oh, and
27.
Shobe is sideways. He's in the grass.
Wow, both drivers might have followed each other into the grass. They're here on lap number 8. Let's see if we can't find out what happened to those two guys just a moment ago. We were talking about one car, Chris. Looks like the 96 of Andrew Allen went completely off track there. Going to lose a couple spots. Really one of the fastest cars on the track. Shobe going to try to work his way back by as we watch what happened here to 2 or 3 drivers.
Yeah, right here. This is Andrew Allen's situation right here.
Yep, yeah, just cooked him.
Yeah, he just gets sideways a little bit right there. We're going to go back a little bit further right here to see if maybe we can figure out what happened to Andrew Shobe. Actually, we're going to look at Christian Barnes here first because he was.
Oh, Shobe and Allen. More contact as we watch it live. Sorry about that, calling it during the replay, but I'm trying to monitor both screens, and this is a battle going on back here for the 4th position.
Yeah, we'll actually go back to see if we can figure out what happened also in this deal right here. Here's the battle between Shobe and Allen right here. And Shobe got sideways. Allen gets into his left rear because of that loss of momentum. They're going to be side by side on the next set of corners as well. It's just intense action right here around the road course.
A great battle as they go through the carousel right now. Turn Turn 11, headed down towards turn 12, Canada corner. It's a heavy, heavy right-hander. This might be Allen's opportunity. Got to be careful not to cook. Sorry, one corner away. My apologies. It's got an opportunity here going down. You mentioned Kettle Bottom, this long, fast straightaway, a little bit further away around, now from the 69 of Andrew Show. But Allen, look at how much distance he's able to close in that braking zone down into Canada corner.
Yeah, he is right there. These guys they're fairly evenly matched, it seems, right here. All these guys right here, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, they're very, very close in speed right here. Christian Barnes been able to get away from these guys a little bit after sort of the contact and the side-by-side battling going on. But, yeah, sometimes, Ellis, what I have found, too, especially for me, when, and I'm not all that great at road course racing, is, when I get behind a driver sometimes, I feel like I sometimes need that rabbit here on a road course. Sometimes clean air is not the best thing for me sometimes.
I definitely on a road course. I'm with you as we watch Andrew Allen contact the back of the 69 of Shobe. Allen loses his nose and is going to lose about 4 car lengths on Shobe here. He's going to try to regroup one car off ahead, Chris. I believe that was the 12 of Brandon Willard, who's going a lap down here. Valiant effort to hold on to that car for Brandon Willard. He's going to be successful as they head down through turn 4 right here. Shobe's going to have to get by that number 12. It might open up an opportunity for Andrew Allen to sneak back into the picture, having to deal with some lack traffic. Look, I feel like Andrew Allen's much better in these braking zones right now, Chris.
Yeah, it does seem like it is. And, you mentioned, Ellis, Brandon Willard getting lapped right here. Lap down cars are always a factor on road courses, Ellis, because there's such a huge variation in speed. Sometimes the lead lap drivers feel the need to be super aggressive with them because they can't afford to lose time behind the lap cars. So that's definitely another story to keep our eyes on tonight, as this battle will not go away.
It will not go away at all. And speaking of going away, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick moment after this stage break. We'll take a quick commercial break, and then we'll do an onboard live drive with one of the leaders so you can see what it looks like from behind the steering wheel here at Road America. Drivers getting ready to cross the finish line of stage 1 in just about a lap, Chris. And looks like, just looking through the field, Andrew Allen's lost a little bit of ground on Shobe. Henson's still a little bit further back. Tight racing all over the track, but drivers have kind of found their groove here over the last couple of laps. Watching Jacob Cochran, last week's winner at Rockingham, on that last lap, working his way around. Right now in the 8th position, Chris. Good focus here. Cochran up 7 positions on the night after starting just on the tip of the top 15. That 84 Ghost machine is a little loose off the corner, but making a good run at it, trying to get himself into maybe the top 5 before the end of this race is over. And Chris, he's showing speed that isn't far off from the leaders right now. And the battle between Andrew Allen, Chris, and I thought I saw, that was Chris Medford's in the pit. That's an interesting call for the guy who was running inside the top 5. We got 16. You know what I think he might be doing, Chris? He's splitting this race into 3 segments. He's going to take 2 pit stops, I would imagine. I'm curious to see how that strategy plays out. They can go about 16 laps on fuel. Brandon Willard off the track again, not too far in front of Chris Medford here. Has to little wheel it right off the corner there. I think that is probably the strategy call on that 46. I don't think anyone's going to be able to make it on one stop. That's Cochran who goes off the track right in front of Medford. Medford's going to drive by on the right side through turns 4, down into turn 5. They're going to go, making that heavy, heavy left-hander in just a moment down this long, long straightaway. Chris, these drivers, are we starting to see tire wear play a role with some of these drivers? I know Cochran might have been struggling a little bit there.
Yeah, that could definitely be something, that could definitely be a story, and that maybe is why Chris Medford decided, he felt like he was losing some ground. Maybe he's also thinking, this is an opportunity to maybe gain some ground on Janik with those fresh tires. Everybody has to stop twice. There's no way that a driver can make it to the end of the race on just one stop. So I kind of like this strategy. So if he goes another, 10 to 12 laps right here, that'll put him up for about a, 14, 15 lap sprint to the end. So I like the idea. I definitely do. I don't think that's a bad call at all.
I don't think it's a bad call either right now. Evan Janik putting an end to lap number 10. Our points winners for stage 1 are going to be Janik, Barnes, Shobe. Allen's going to get some points too. And Gavin Henson's going to round out the top 5, pending no incidents happen in their climb towards the straightaway here in just a couple of corners. That's going to put an end to stage number 1. But we mentioned it, Chris, there are no stage breaks here on the road courses to keep things going, especially, goodness help us, if there was a stage break with caution laps around Road America, we might be here all night at this 4-mile-long track. Watching that 39 Henson wrap his way around turn 14 up the front straightaway. He goes. Might be a good opportunity, Chris. Let's do some trivia. If you're not familiar with our diecast trivia game, we do 4 trivia questions related to the racetrack that we are racing at. The first 2 correct answers to be typed in the chat will receive a trivia point. The fan with the most trivia points at the end of the night is going to be the winner of that Kyle Busch 1/64th scale diecast. All you got to do, type your answers in the chat, whether you're on your computer, your phone. There's a chat feature on the TV. It might be a little bit cumbersome, but it's there. You should try it if you haven't done so. Let us know what the correct answer to this question is in the chat. First 2 correct ones get the points.
Oh, Ellis,
question
I'm sorry.
Number 1, go
sorry
ahead.
to interrupt. There's been trouble right here with the 46 of Chris Medford. A lot of damage. He made that pit stop. We're going to go back, see if we can see. Oh, we missed it by just a little bit, it seems. Oh, man, actually, we missed it by a good bit right here. He's got a lot of damage. Looks like he ran off right here, Ellis. I don't know if it was issues with another car. No. Oh, he's already got the damage.
All on his own, it looks like. See if we can't. Oh, boy.
Oh, it's right here. It's all the way back here. The kink. Yeah, it's the kink. So this is a very fast right-hander right here. It just carried a little too much speed right there into that guardrail.
Big hit for that number 46. That's going to set him back to the 14th. That might have, Chris, if you're Evan Janik, are you breathing a sigh of relief right now?
It does take a lot of pressure off of Evan Janik. Just keep it between the curbs here. Keep it on the track right here. You got a 22-second lead. Things can still go wrong, definitely, but this does take a lot of pressure off of him because Medford was his closest competition tonight.
All right, so Evan Janik is in the lead. Let's pull up this trivia after Chris Medford so rudely disrupted us there. Sorry for Chris that his race is going to potentially end that way, but let's talk about trivia question number 1. What local Wisconsin tradition inspired the food served at Road America? Is it the Friday fish fry, Supper Club prime rib, hot dish and kringle, very German sounding, or bratwurst and cheese curds? What is the correct answer to that trivia question? First 2 correct answers in the chat get the points for that question. Hey, new rule. If you bring in a fan, if you bring in another viewer and they let us know that you sent them, we'll give you half a point. We'll give you half a point for trivia. So bring them, pack them in. Let's get some fans going in the chat right now. Let us know if someone sent you. Let us know who you're rooting for tonight, by the way. We'll give you the answer to that trivia question here in just a couple moments. We're going to follow a couple cars around here and see if we can't. Chris Medford, he's catching Reggie Kime back in 13th. Yeah, I'm wondering how badly that car he's got it fixed, though, right?
Yeah, he got his fast repair. He used his fast repair. And he's marching back up through the field right here. So, unfortunately for him, that's an extra pit stop. Oh, we got one
Chris,
car in front of him.
Car, the 47, David Henson, I believe. Matt Moyer actually off track there in that number 47. The gravel trap proves deadly for number 47, David Moyer.
Yeah, let's go back here, see if we can find out what happened to David here. Coming up to Canada Corner right here. Clips a little bit of grass right there in Kettle Bottoms. Yeah, just kind of missed the braking zone a little bit there, it looks like. But, oh, man, there's a huge hill right there in the gravel trap. That's interesting. But he's able to keep on going right here. No damage, really, to that car at all from that incident.
iRacing has definitely upped their game when it comes to the debris physics here. Speaking of upping their game, answer to the trivia question. What local Wisconsin tradition inspired the food served at Road America? The answer is bratwurst in cheese curds. Winners on that, Everything Edits, and Caleb Hunt even got in there. Everything Edits and Caleb Hunt are the points winners on that particular question. We got 3 more of those coming up later on in the race, so stick around. Even if you didn't get involved in that question, you still got a chance. One car off track here. Who is that, Chris? Slamming around the track through the grass. 77.
Zach White right there, miscounted a corner. Yeah, I think that Zach might have also been, I think he might have been trying to get out of these drivers' way right here. I think that he does a really nice job staying over here in the grass, letting some of these lead lap cars go. Zach, good guy, White, for sure.
Zach White. Now, Chris, battle going on for 4th position, not too far up the road. Andrew Allen. They got to go through the 24 of Brett Wren. Job gets a back bumper full of the number 96 of Andrew Allen. One car, Brett Wren, off the track there. Hold on to her, Brett.
Oh, watch out.
He's going to come across the track. Zach White almost got a piece of that action down the REN straightaway there, Chris. Right now, there's the 69. Shobe gives up the spot to Andrew Allen in that 96. Mark that 96 back up to 3rd position as they head down that long straightaway down to the sweeping left-hand, or the sharp left-hand turn. See how wide the 96 takes it off this corner. Not as wide as Shobe, Chris. Shobe almost got those right tires into a little bit of the sand there. Another left-hander. Shobe runs that a little bit higher as well. The 27, Chris, that was Christian Barnes in 4th position, who had an off-road excursion here on lap number 13. Let's watch this happen in real time.
Yeah, coming up right here. Up the hill, into this sharp left-hander. Gets a little bit of grass right there on the inside right there. Trying to use every inch of real estate. He's going to spin it around right here, do a little flick spin. Does a nice job of not getting out into the racing line right there. Going to keep on trucking, and he's going to have to do some work to maybe catch these guys right here. But, Christian Barnes is pretty fast right now, Ellis. I wouldn't count him out from the 2nd or 3rd spot.
Yeah, I think Christian Barnes only back to 4th position right now. I think he's got a shot at getting back up there. Chris, Derek Jewett, speaking of getting up there, back in 8th position, not dealing with a handful of traffic right now, but he's up 8 positions after starting 16th in that number 45 in that gray and black and red, white blood. I don't know what color that car is, but I guess you could say it's not typical.
Yeah, it's not typical, and but he's doing a really nice job. And we saw a few drivers that we think maybe had some issues during qualifying, Ellis. I'm not sure if they decided not to take laps. I think that everybody would try to take a lap here, Ellis, in qualifying, just because of how important track position is on a road course. But Derek Jewett, Jacob Cochran, a couple drivers who did struggle a little bit in qualifying right here. Jewett has made nice steady progress up through the field right here, up to the 8th spot, looking for more. He's got Ronnie Foster just a little bit further up the road in front of him right here in the 7th spot. Give a call to Ronnie Foster in that number 6 car.
Yeah, I was going to talk about Ronnie Foster, just looking at him on the charts right now. Ronnie Foster, 4 races with Mystic Racing League. He has average finish to 17th, Chris, but he's improved on that much tonight. He tends to be a fairly clean racer. He is looking pretty good in that 6 car right now. 5th appearance here in Mystic Racing League for the Fall Creek Plumbing Series as he climbs the front straightaway. Going for Ronnie in that number 6. Chasing Stephen Gill in the points. Right now, Ronnie's going to pick up a lot of room, about 6 positions on Stephen Gill. That'll move him up to probably above Stephen Gill in the points. So solid job to Ronnie Foster right now. Hey, solid job to the chat as we watch that number 6, or the number 69 roll around the track. Solid job to the chat. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Let us know who you're rooting for tonight. Who you here to support? What driver sent you here? Or who are you rooting for if you just knew about it without being sent? We appreciate everyone tuning in right now. Good run going. We mentioned the number 69 of Andrew Shobe, back to 8th after that pit stop, but he is quickly gaining on Derek Jewett and Ronnie Foster and the likes up there, about 20 car lengths ahead, just a couple of seconds separate Andrew Shobe from getting back the 7th and 6th position.
He
slides it. Can he hold on to it? He keeps it straight. Good save for the number 69 of Andrew Shobe in 8th position. Not going to lose much. Not too worse for the wear there for Andrew Shobe, Chris. Hangs on to it. What exactly happened, just to explain to the viewers at home, what caused that 69 to get loose?
Yeah, just maybe picking up the throttle a little bit too soon. Not sure because we weren't riding on board with him right there. Or maybe just carried a little too much speed into the corner. In all of these stock cars, there's a brake bias where you can dial a little bit of brake towards the rear. And sometimes that will cause the car to be upset a little bit on corner entry. The back end will want to slide out when you apply the brakes. It does help you turn a little bit more through the center of the corner. It takes a little bit of heat off those front brakes, a little bit of heat off those front tires too, maybe if your car is pushing a little bit. So that could have been that situation with Andrew. Not sure what his brake bias is set at here, but he's recovered nicely right here, taking advantage of an early pit stop. Meanwhile, we got our second and third place cars on pit road, Ellis.
Yeah, Janik had also come down. Our leader just hit pit road right before second and third place hit pit road, and this shows you, Chris, how dominant Evan Janik's been so far. Not that anything can't happen. We've seen some drivers struggle late in the race in some of these corners, but Evan Janik made a pit stop and didn't even get past for the lead.
Yeah,
how about that? That's how fast that 71 is tonight right now, Chris.
Yeah, he is on rails tonight. That car is, I mean, it just looks real smooth, real steady. Haven't seen really any moments out of him all night. And you know, you definitely have to be fast around a road course, Ellis. Don't get me wrong to do that. But, you know, the name of the game is just not making mistakes. Stock cars are not meant to be driven around road courses. They're just not. And, you know, it's just so easy to make a mistake around a road course. And, you know, at some point find yourself, you know, slipping off track, you know, and he's done just a heck of a job all night keeping that thing straight.
Heck of a job, Chris. Battle for fifth position. Derek Jewett locks up the rear tires sideways through the corner. It was almost about to make the pass for fifth by Ronnie Foster, but Jewett just a little bit too late on the brakes there, locked up those corners heading in that left-hander.
Yeah, right here, watching right here, into the left-hander right here. Down the hill. Yeah, you got to use a little bit more brake down the hill right here. Yeah, and I think he's trying to avoid running in the back of yeah, he didn't want to hit Ronnie Foster. And just locked him up right there, spun himself around. Gonna grab a gear and keep on going though, but yeah, that's costly right there for a driver who does not have great track position due to his qualifying run, so he's gonna have to fight really hard to make up the ground there.
Hey, speaking of fighting real hard, back to 12th real quick. Take a look at old Douglas Wasaki. Douglas is in that number 11 running around. Douglas has just continued to impress me with just 5 races here in Mystic Racing League, but an average finish just outside of the top 10. Last week brought home a 10th place at Rockingham, brought home a 7th place at Bristol. He's got some short track credentials here for that number 11, but he is up 5 positions. After starting 17th, he's worked himself into the top 12 here at Road America. Now 16 laps of 37 complete. Shout out to Wisaki. I'm curious if I'm saying that the right way as well. He'll let us know. I'm sure someone who might know him in the chat will let us know, but Wisaki having a good little run. That's a good looking paint scheme. Is that like that might be a reminds me of like a Skull paint scheme or a Kodiak paint scheme. I know it's probably not a direct copy, but those colors together like that, that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, it does.
Ricky
really,
Craven.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of a sort of short track feel to it also. Like that, maybe this is a type of scheme almost that you'd see number font and design on the side that you see at your local short track. So I like it right here. Yeah, and it does seem like he has had some really good short track results here lately. A little bit different this week, Ellis, at the road course, but, you know, you do have to use some of the same techniques. So, yeah, Wasaki doing a really nice job right here. Running in the 12th spot, still looking to make his first pit stop tonight.
Yeah, hey, we should be detectives. We put together the short track paint scheme with the short track finishes. Yeah. I think he is probably a short track specialist. Talking about Douglas Wasaki rolling around there in the now it's 12th position. Couple drivers down pit road, Chris. I believe Alex Pollock along with Derek Jewett now on pit road for the first time tonight. They're making their way off. Ronnie Foster also had come down pit road from the top 10. That's going to be their first stop of the night. I'm interested to see how they play this final 21 laps or so. We're getting to the halfway point in just about 2 laps, and I don't think they're going to be able to make it. But I'm looking to see if there's anyone who hasn't come in yet. Wasaki hasn't come in. Zukov hasn't come in. Does anyone try to go 18 laps and split this thing in half as we watch Alex Pollock roll around here and several other cars come down pit road? Anyone try to do that, you think?
I just don't think that's a possibility, Ellis. I think that would be think that'd be asking a lot on fuel. I think that you would have to slow down so much to do that I don't think it would be worth it.
I'm going to trust your expertise on that pit road strategy, Chris. One driver not come down pit road yet, I believe. Sorry, no, Brett Wren. Just looking, yeah, Brett Wren has not come down pit road yet. If my numbers are correct, he's staying out. He's only on lap 15 of his run right now, going a lap or so down. We saw him have some trouble earlier on in the race. We mentioned Alex Pollock in that number 92, sitting there in 11th position right now. Bright purple paint scheme. I think he's got slush puppies on board. He said he wanted to get inside the top 3, so I'd have to say slush puppies again. Well, I feel like he knew he wasn't going to be in the top 3 tonight, so he sponsored the race with slush puppies, and now he's forcing me to say slush puppies, even though I don't want. I feel like I need a slush puppy now, though.
What do you have against slush puppies? They're pretty amazing.
Know, it's just it's a weird phrase. Where do you get these things at gas stations? I feel like I remember them from our childhood.
Yeah, I remember from childhood because they were always at the baseball field. You could always get them.
That's what it was.
Yeah, you could always get them at the baseball field. Sonic has kind of got their version of it also. Not to encroach on slush puppies territory at all, but I love a good slush puppy. Yeah, gas stations are by far the best place to get them, but you got to go to a gas station that carries them.
That is true. Hey, speaking of slush puppies in the chat right now, I'm curious. Let us know what's your favorite flavor of slush puppy, or we'll go the more generic like snow cone or slushy. Let us know what your favorite flavor of snow cone or slushy is in the chat right now. Hey, I'm willing to give away a free half a point for that. If you let us know what your favorite slushy or slush puppy is in the chat, we'll pick the best one and we will give it half a trivia point for free. Absolutely. Doesn't cost you a thing. So with all that being said, we're going to do some more trivia and take a lap around here, Road America, when we get back. But we got to pay the bills, folks. We got some sponsors who make this race possible, including Whiplash SimCams, who are providing the beautiful cameras that are being operated elegantly by Chris Smith in the production booth right now. So, Chris, good job, and we'll take a break and hear from Whiplash SimCams, and we'll be back right on the other end for more action halfway at Road America.
Hey partner, I'm Barry, your pocket crew chief, the very first AI-powered mechanic for sim racing. Got a car that's a little loose or tight? Just tell me how it's handling, and I'll whip up instant setup recommendations just for you. Want me to get even more precise? Snap a picture of your setup, and I'll fine-tune it to perfection. And hey, I'm not just about giving orders. I'll explain why every adjustment matters, so you can really understand your ride. I'll even teach you the science behind the setup. Ever wonder why the track bar is so important? I've got the answer. With Pocket Crew Chief, I'll make you smarter, faster, and race ready. So what are we waiting for? Let's build to win.
Hey, back here in the Wisconsin Hills, Road America halfway here in the Slush Puppies 150. Watching Evan Janik work his way around the track. He is scored currently as the leader. Janik working his way through the final corners of the track right now towards the start-finish line. Chris, we've been teasing it all race long. This is a hard track. It's a 4-mile track. You want to take us and the fans through a lap here, what it takes to get it done at Road America?
Yeah, let's do it right here. Evan Janik coming up the hill right here. You can see that elevation change. It is a steep hill coming on the front stretch right here. Right now at the start-finish line, long straightaway, high speeds down into this corner right here. 170, 180 miles an hour. Hard on the brakes right there, using that braking marks on the left-hand side of the racetrack. Over there on the curves, come out here next to that one. That's turn 1. This right here is turn 2. Not really a turn right here, just a little kink in the straightaway. Down here to turn 3. Very similar turn to turn 1. I kind of treat them both the same in how I approach them. Coming up right here to this Sargento straightaway right here, going underneath the Sargento Cheese Bridge right here. And this is another pretty long straightaway, Ellis. This is the second longest one other than Kettle Bottoms on the track right here. Down the hill, so you got to use a lot of heavy braking right here down the hill into turn 5. Look at Evan Janet getting far right to try to get the best line for the apex that he possibly get. He runs off onto that curb right there. That's what it's there for. Up the hill into turn 6, very similar to turn 5. Both of them almost carbon copies of each other. Off right there to the grass. A little short straightaway right here, Ellis. And then you're going to come up to, I believe that is turn number 7 right there. Yeah, turn 7. And now you're approaching what is turn 8. This left-hander that is going to lead into the carousel. And in the carousel right here, you see that Johnson Speedville sign right there. All those yummy-looking bratwurst right there. You got to be really, really careful on the throttle right here. Don't punch that throttle. Be real patient with it. Just feather it nice and easy through there. And now get wide open right here when you get on the straightaway underneath that Mission Bridge right here. And here's the kink. A very fast. You can hear Evan Janik. He's not off the throttle long. Very fast right-hander. How fast do you dare go through there? Down through Kettle Bottoms right here. You're wide open, but it's not really a straightaway. Some kinks in the road right here. Heavy on the brakes. Heavy on the brakes right here for Canada Corner. Canada Corner is corner number 12 on the racetrack. Janik a little bit wide right here on corner exit. In that gravel right there. Can't do anything about it, though. Coming up to turn number 13 right there. This is a fun little part of the track right here. You can kind of go wide, hard to the left right here to set yourself up for the final corner. Turn number 14, Ellis. And when you come off of turn number 14, you got to be real careful not to get off in the grass right there. It's a big trouble spot. And look at that hill. Can't see what's on the other side of it.
Chris, take a break. That was well executed, but a 4-mile lap around. I heard you gasping for air at a couple points, but good job. Right now, lap number 20. We begin here at Road America live for Mystic Racing League in the Fall Creek Plumbing Series. I'm Ellis Thomas. You just heard Chris Smith. We're here in the Slingshot TV booth. Boy, it's been a wild race so far. Several drivers off track. We've talked about Calamity Corner. Seems to be every corner here at Road America tonight. Janik leads the way. Andrew Allen, really one of the fastest cars on track tonight. Seeing if he doesn't have anything. Can't chase down Evan Janik in that number 71. He's trying to chase Janik in that number 96 right now. Going through the rest of the field, Christian Barnes, we saw him have some trouble earlier. He's back up to 3rd position. Andrew Shobe has shown some road course skills tonight in that number 69, and Gavin Henson's been there all evening in that number 39. Those are our top 5, Chris, as they stand right now. And I say that because we're getting ready for the end of stage number 2. We know there are no stage cautions tonight, but points will be awarded to the top 5, and that is them as they stand right now. Right on the outside looking in, Chris Medford, who we saw really, Chris, he had a lot of speed. And my goodness, for all the trouble that 46 has found himself in, slamming into that wall at the midway portion of the track, Medford's climbed his way back up to 6th after getting that thing repaired. Shout out to the driver of the number 46, Chris Medford, right now on the run. Just looking through his stats, 2 races with with Mystic Racing League, and got a top 10 at Talladega a couple weeks ago, looking to do the opposite on an opposite type of track tonight. Road course going for another top 10.
Yeah, he's looking real good. He's made a nice recovery here. He has had that extra pit stop, with the damage that he had to get fixed. He was only in the pit stall. He was there for a short time, so the penalty is not huge. And luckily, he has some very impressive speed right here. We're actually going to pull up the battle forecast right here to show you some race insights powered by Pierce Graphics. And as you can see on that last lap, Ellis, Chris Medford about 2.5 seconds quicker than the driver up the road right there in the 5th spot, Gavin Henson. If we were at an oval, Ellis, that would be a pretty remarkable gap. It's still pretty fast here on a road course, but that we do see a little bit more variation in lap time and speed here on the road courses compared to the ovals.
Yeah, I think you are going to see Chris Medford probably make a run here at Gavin Henson. You mentioned it. Running similar pace, kind of going back and forth between being a little bit faster and running a similar pace. Hey, speaking of back and forth, trivia, we went ahead and looked at some of your answers in the chat right now. What's your favorite slushie? We got a couple, Chris. Blueberry slushie, Connor says. I feel like that's a sleeper pick right there because It tastes really good, but I feel like the problem with it is that you are going to you're going to have a blue tongue after it. And yeah, Chris, right now, Alex Pollock working on the back end of Aaron Espy right now, watching that live as they head down one of these straightaways into a left-hander. We've seen Pollock. We're watching him try to chase down Aaron Espy. We've seen Espy have a little bit of trouble off some of the corners. In fact, I feel like it was that corner that we saw Espy struggle with about 10, 15 laps ago. But right now, that 26 is lurking in the background. You mentioned the 92, I should say, lurking in the background. We mentioned earlier, can you cause the driver in front of you to make a mistake by getting in his mirror, maybe getting in his head? One car off the track there. I believe that was the 90, potentially, maybe the 9 got off track. But yeah, go ahead, Chris. I would say that, but that might have been Alex Pollock struggling a little bit there.
Yeah, Alex Pollock right here. You see him kind of looking to the right on the straightaways right here, and I think that's what you were talking about, Ellis. Yeah, you can kind of force a driver into a mistake right here, an unforced error. And that's, that's kind of what I think Alex Pollock is trying to do here. He's trying to get out of the mirror. He's trying to get out of the mirror of the driver of the 16 of Aaron Espy right here. He's trying to go look to the right in those braking zones. Looking to the right. He's not trying to dive bomb him. I don't think that we're going to see that out of Alex Pollock. But he's faking like he might try to do it, and yeah, he's just trying to make that driver look. He's trying to make him look behind him and see, if he might possibly try to make that move. So, yeah, I think that's something that, is a fairly common tactic on road courses, and we'll have to keep our eyes out here to see if it does force a mistake out of the 16. But Aaron's doing a great job right here to keep it on track.
Hey, speaking of eyes, good eyes. Connor Lyons spotted it was the 91 of Zukov that had gone off track right behind these guys as we watch this battle continue to heat up. We were talking about best slushy flavors, Chris. Everything at it said tiger's blood flavor. So that's a good one.
Interesting.
Dan E says the best slushy, quote unquote, is strawberry daiquiri. That's a good answer as well. Boy, Pollock takes it wide into this corner. Maybe he gets a run off the corner on Aaron Espy as they head uphill just a little bit. Not getting as much as I thought he would there. But hey, on that question, we'll go ahead and get that half a point over to Everything Edits with the Tiger Blood. Tiger Blood slushy. I like that one. Well, I think, Chris, we might be good to do another trivia question if we want to hit up trivia. These guys are coming up. Oh, Aaron Espy, same corner. Second time. Can he keep it out of the wall? He does, but it's going to allow Alex Pollock to slip by as they head through Speedville into the carousel, Chris.
Yeah, and we see right here, Pollock ran up on him right there and maybe got him looking in the mirror right here before the next corner right here. This is turn 6 right here. Oh, yeah, and you can see the back end step out right there. Just sort of lock the rears up just a little bit. A little bit too much brake right there. Maybe a little bit of wheel hop down into that corner right there. And Pollock goes on past.
Going to put Pollock back into the top 10. Let's, as promised, do trivia question number 2. Rules are top 2 correct answers in the chat. The fastest 2 correct answers get the trivia point. You get the trivia point. We've already done one question. Right now, Everything Edits has a 1.5 score, and I believe Caleb Hunt has a score of 1. Let's go to question 2. What unique feature did Road America use to naturally enhance the fan experience? Keyword, naturally. Was it a natural amphitheater, hillsides? Was it under-track tunnels for fans? Was it a hilltop fan tram? Or was it a lift bridge over turn 5? What unique features did Road America use to naturally enhance the fan experience? We'll give you that answer here in a couple moments. Get those answers in, giving away that free Kyle Busch diecast tonight to the winner of trivia. We'll have a couple other challenges throughout the race in its final 15 laps or so. Boy, Chris, they are clicking away pretty fast right now. Speeds are blistering here in some of these long straightaways as we watch the 84 of Jacob Cochran. I'm trying to look where he is on the speed chart right now. Cochran struggling a little bit in 13th after that win at Rockingham last week, but he's quickly closing on Steve Gill here in that 0-1 as they head up the straightaway down into turn 1. I'm curious to follow, see if he can't gain a little bit of speed, or look at that closing distance, Chris.
Oh, yeah.
He lined it up.
He's
going to drive it too hard. Dukes of Hazzard style for Jacob Cochran. Can he hold on to it? He's got to come to a stop, Chris. That is the penalty. He's been told by race control, lay it for a quick stop and then mash that throttle once again. He's going to be back to ground zero on getting by Steve Gill for the number 12th position. And boy, that was a moment. That was, boy, there was some off-road debris popped out on the track after that the drivers are going to have to contend with when they roll back around the next time by.
Yeah, and I think this just speaks to how hard this is. I mean, Jacob Cochran has been one of the fastest drivers on track here on a weekly basis here in recent weeks. You know, picking up the win last week at Rockingham, he's got speed every single week, Ellis, and this week, man, it is a struggle around here. We've seen him with a few off-track excursions, having some issues right here. It's just hard, man. And, this is not something that, a lot of oval track drivers do often. Some of them are... it's a little bit more comfortable for them than others, but I think Jacob is just looking to survive the rest of the night. Steve Gill.
Yeah, Gill took a little off-road excursion there right before they went through the carousel, and it allows Cochran to make up all that ground that he had lost just a moment ago with his own off-track excursion. Now it's about 3 car lengths. Cochran sideways off the corner, getting ready to head down into the long straightaway of Kettle Bottoms before they hit Canada Corner. It's going to be another opportunity for Cochran to try to make up that ground on Steve Gill with this heavy right-hander. Look at that. He's going to be careful. He's going to go off track again. Can he keep out the tire barriers? The answer to that question is indeed no. Slings up a lot of gravel and dirt onto the track. And boy, Chris, that was the second time we've seen him just looks like blaze into a corner, looking like he's going to make that move, and maybe just a little bit too much on throttle, a little bit too late on the brakes there.
Yeah, it looks like he is struggling under braking. I don't know if maybe it's his brake marks are a little bit off, or maybe it's a situation where his brake calibration is just not quite to his liking. I had that situation, in my own league race at Sebring, several weeks back, where I just did not have my brakes it mapped very well comfortably, and it made for a really long and difficult night. And I understand the frustration for Jacob Cochran if that is the case right here, but like I said, hopefully he can just survive the rest of the night, keep that thing in one piece. Looks like the damage not too significant on that 84 machine.
Chris, speaking of damage, I think Derek Jewett, our 10th place runner, currently might have just had an issue. Going to see if we can't figure out where this happened. I'm looking on my own replay. Heavy left-hander just about 10 seconds ago. Oh, boy, right in front of Alex Pollock. There was contact, I believe. Watch this.
Yeah, right here we're following Derek Jewett around the track right here. See if we can see what transpired. There's Alex Pollock right behind him. And, yeah, just wheel hopped a little bit. Or actually... go back right here and see, did he dip a tire maybe off into the grass? It's really close. Maybe. It's really close. Yeah, he does. He does dip a tire. You can see it right there. You see the blades of grass fly up right there from that 45. That is another easy mistake to do on a road course, just trying to use every inch of track.
Look at this. Contact between Alex Pollock.
Oh, yes, there was.
Got into him right there at the last minute. We had talked about Pollock having a good night. I'm curious to see if that upsets the handling of the race car. Hey, trivia, great answers in the chat. Got a handful of them. And our top 2 correct answers came from Everything Edits and Caleb Hunt. They're making a run of it tonight on trivia. It takes Everything Edits up to 2.5. Caleb Hunt up to 2. The correct answer was Natural Amphitheater on the hillsides. Natural amphitheater on the hillsides. That was the correct answer to what Road America had done to make the track experience more fan-friendly, what they had done with the terrain. Those natural hillside amphitheaters. So good job to those guys on the trivia questions. Keep getting them in. There's still a chance. Going to give away a couple half points later on with just now 13 laps remaining. They're long laps, but Chris, they have gone very quickly here as we watch this battle right now between Adam Holston and Andrew Allen. Holston track here through the corner. Going to lose that spot to Andrew Allen, and that is your second place in points. And Chris, I say that off-road excursions, they've happened almost, it feels like, to every driver tonight, but we saw it almost go very awry there for Alex Pollock, and I believe that was Derek Jewett earlier. There was contact, so just because you spin here doesn't mean you're out of the woods.
Yeah, and Andrew Allen has made a pit stop. Just want to give a brief update on him. He is currently in the 5th spot right here, looking to use those fresh tires to maybe gain some time, gain some track position on his competitors. Chris Medford has also recently made a pit stop as well in that 46. He currently runs in that 7th spot, looking to make up the ground that maybe he lost in his quick repair that he had to take. Put Medford in the 7th spot, but both those drivers, Allen and Medford, have enough fuel to make it to the end at this stage.
Absolutely. They are going to make it to the end indeed. 12 laps remaining here at Road America. 2 more trivia questions coming your way before the end of this race. I should say 1, and then we'll do one right after the checkered flag fly. So you got to stick around if you're going to win that Kyle Busch diecast. Watching the 46, we mentioned Chris Medford. Hard luck earlier in the race, but he's salvaged this thing better than I would have expected that he could have done in that number 46. He's having a good run. Looking through the rest of the field right now, not a whole lot of super close battles in terms of drivers being on each other's back bumper, but Chris, let's just talk about tonight. Tonight is a game of survival, right? Any road course driver knows that. You got to survive if you're going to have a chance at the end, and you got to keep on going. And what I'll give every driver out here right now, other than Caleb Hunt, to be fair, Caleb had some Wi-Fi issues, he told us in the chat earlier, that rendered him disconnected from the race. But pretty much, Zach White went off track as well. Everyone out here still on the racetrack right now, Chris. 22 drivers started, 21 still out there rolling around for better or for worse as we watch the Scooby-Doo mystery machine of Reggie Kime roll around. Having Andrew Allen do chase. That's a car of the lap down. Allen going to try to make his way by cleanly and quickly. We'll see how easy that is or how difficult it is as they head towards this right-hand turn with Zach White off the track not far in front of him. Allen's going to have to deal with a second lap car and his many corners, Chris.
Oh, yeah, Zach White's got a lot of damage right here, Ellis. We're going to see if we can figure out how.
That is not good.
Yeah, he's smoking right here. Coming to pit road right here. Possibly going to take a fast repair for White. Yeah, it looks like he's already got the damage at this point, so we're going to try to go back here. Oh, yeah, I bet it was the kink right here, Ellis, that has, or this is actually Canada Corner, actually, I should say. Yeah, just kind of missed the braking for this corner right here. Already got some damage to the right front that I'm sure is not helping matters. Yeah, just overshoots it a little bit, and into the tires he goes. That's going to be some engine damage to that number 77.
That's what happens when you smoke.
That's right. That's right.
He's still smoking down there in the pits right now.
There he goes. It got fixed.
Yeah, they do have one quick repair, which is what allowed Medford to get back into it so quickly. Looking for some folks maybe that deserve a little bit of love. Let's go back to 19th real quick. Let's see if we can't find Gino Volante back here in that, is that an AMR? AMR paint scheme? Maybe
ARM.
ARM.
ARM
see trailer and gravel. He's going to make his way down pit road. It's a bright yellow paint scheme. You can't miss it. He's still chugging around there in 19th, and we heard that this week is Gino's birthday. So happy birthday, Gino, in that number 35. He's going to have a top 20 to show for it by the end of the night, celebrating in that yellow paint scheme. Gino, good
happy
guy.
Birthday, Gino.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy birthday indeed. Looking through the rest of the field, Alan Zukov, he's had a quiet night over here in 16th position, Chris, in that number 91. I'm just looking to see if I can't.
Yeah, he got sideways right there. He was drifting right there through the kink. Did a nice job holding on to it. Maybe he's got those rear tires heated up a little bit. But yeah, a nice quiet night. We saw him have that off earlier, but Andrew Allen running up on his back bumper. But yeah, you said it. He's had a real quiet night tonight.
Ooh, a little bit of grass action there, a little bit of sand to show for it, but he's currently running the 16th position, almost in the top 15. Finished 12th at Rockingham last week, so great showing for that number 91 of Zukov in that Jegs black paint scheme. You know, Jegs, I feel like they are a sleeper company as well. I feel like they don't get enough credit for the quality auto parts that they provide for an affordable price. Every time I'm looking for something from my car, I feel like I find some pretty good stuff over at Jegs. And fun story about Jegs, Chris. My first ever sim racing rig, guess where I got the seat from?
Did you get it from Jegs?
I got it from Jegs. As we watched that car catch up with Gino Volante, is he going to pass him on his birthday? The answer is yes. He doesn't care if it's birthday. Gino's probably crying. He can cry if he wants to. It's his birthday. But he is now up into the 16th position. That is Zukov from that number 91. And Gino probably laughing just went off the track right behind him. But yeah, it was a Jegs molded plastic race seat. Still have fond memories of that. Wasn't comfortable, but it did the job. And you know who's comfortable right now, Chris? Evan Janik. Yeah. Evan Janik is comfortable in that lead as he rolls that number 71 up this front straightaway down towards turn number 1. This old boy's got 42 seconds on the field. He's lapped all but 7th place. Yeah. All up to 7th place right now. He's putting a spanking on the field like Kyle Larson put a spanking on the field at Bristol in that Xfinity race, and really, I suppose, the Cup Series race on Sunday. A lot of people complained because it was so boring. Let's see. We got some messages in the chat right now. Rough Raven says the 12 car is out of the race with damage. Brandon Willard, yep, Brandon Willard is out of the race. Had some damage a little while ago. Looks like it happened just a few laps ago in that teal paint scheme. So good update there from Rough Raven. We appreciate that. 1988, 1 year older than maybe I am. But a good run going right now for Evan Janik in that number 71. He's your points leader, Chris. I think he's going to extend that tonight because you got to go back to 6th place to find Adam Holston. I think it might be a good opportunity to check in with our old buddy Evan and see what he's got to say right now, if you don't mind. You think that'll work?
If he's okay with it, I'm okay with it.
Oh, he's okay with it. Let's see. He's off in 5-star racing right now. Hey, Evan Janet, this is Ellis and Chris in the booth. You got a copy?
Yep, gotcha.
And I didn't want to yell at you to disturb you, but boy, you're putting a spanking on the rest of the field right now, my friend. What do you got to do to finish this thing out? What's been the most difficult part of tonight?
Lap traffic and marbles. I mean, I don't know if you've seen it, but a couple of these corners coming up, they've been really filthy. So it's just being easy on the gas and just staying on track and avoiding everybody that's off track.
Yeah, we just saw you roll through them right now. Can you feel that gravel on your tires head into the next corner?
Oh, absolutely. I don't know about the next corner, but definitely where the corner's covered, you definitely can feel it and brake traction. Lost a little bit of traction over there. Right there, it was dirty. So yeah, the sand on the track is definitely going to be an issue.
Well, man, we're going to let you get back to it. Good job going so far tonight. We might talk to you in Victory Lane at the end of this thing. Have fun out there.
Good. Thank you.
Sir. All right, so you heard from Evan Janik. He talked about the marbles, Chris, and you can see as he rolls through that corner, all that debris on the track. I think sometimes we get a better shot of it than others, but when he rolls through that debris, he mentioned, I was curious. Oh, boy, he's going to cook it in that corner, Chris. Going to cook it into the corner. He gets it going. No harm, no foul, Chris. We mentioned it. He just rolled through some debris just a corner before that. And I asked him, do you feel that when you come in the next corner? And he said, absolutely. I'm wondering how much of that is to blame for that off-road excursion. It's really the only foot that 71 has put wrong all evening long as he gets ready to make that left-hander.
Yeah, there's a lot of gravel right there on the track that you saw right there that he ran through. We're watching right here, and maybe that contributed to this next corner right here. But he goes off right here, and he just does, luckily he's got a lot of runoff area here. I say runoff area. It's not runoff area. It's grass. But, there's no walls that are super close to him right here. Wiggles the car right here, trying to get those tires cleaned of all that debris for the next set of corners. Yeah, it just shows he's human, and, it's really hard out here. Even the guy who's dominating here had his own share of trouble right there.
It is definitely a challenge for sure, and even the best have made some mistakes. And man, I want to talk Brett Wren back here in 17th. I know he's not having the run that he would want tonight in that 24, but I'll be damned if he doesn't have a heart rate that is just locked in at calm, cool, and collected here as he rolls his way through some of the gravel there. Proving me wrong, but let's see if it climbs a little bit. But he's been steady, man, around 75 to 80 BPM most of the race in that number 24. He's got Douglas Wasaki coming up on him from behind now. He's going to be getting past that. That's not a battle for position as we ride on board with that 24, but I'm curious if the heart rate climbs as that 11 gets closer in his mirror. We'll watch him through a couple sets of corners and ride on board and hear how loud it is in the back of that thing. Ooh, Chris, he's getting cue the Jaws music. Wasaki right up to the back bumper of Brett Wren, who's booting, scooting, boogieing away right now as they head through down into one of the long straightaways towards the end portion of the track, down through Kettle Bottom, down into Canada Corner. This is a tricky one. We've seen it all night long. I'm not trying to put the jinx on Brett here, but he's going to make that right-hander. Looks like he hits those curbs. Oh, hang on to her, Brett. He's loose through the corner. He heard footsteps from Wasaki behind. Wasaki about 3 car lengths back now, getting ready to make turn number 14 onto the front straightaway. And we had to hold our breath for Brett there. And dang, that thing did not go up hardly. That heart rate did not go up at all as we watch him make his way down pit road. He has seen enough on this set of tires.
Yeah, Ellis, Brett is like that. I feel like every single time we have the heart rate monitor on him, I feel like he's always like this. You know, he's just real calm and cool. I think the only time we've seen that thing elevate above maybe 90 beats per minute was at Talladega when he was, you know, he was running up front for a lot of that race, and the action was super intense, you know, at Talladega, of course. But I think that's been like the only time all year as Andrew Allen makes the pass on Gavin Henson for the third spot. Henson going to make his pit stop here. Just real calm, cool, and collected. I would not want the heart rate monitor on me when I'm sim racing. I'll just put it that way.
Oh, you're not supposed to say that. Don't discourage drivers from performing for us and performing for the fans.
I'm afraid of what it would show on mine.
Yeah, me too. Especially, you just don't put a mic on me during the race as we watch Gavin Henson work his way. You know what I'm talking about. Watching Gavin Henson work his way down pit road. Update, Gino Volante on his birthday is out of the race. Unfortunately, it's going to be a 20th place finish, it looks like, for Gino tonight. A couple comments in the chat right now. Connor also said the 39 of Henson might have gone. Had a little off-road experience. I think that was about 1 or 2 laps ago that Henson maybe went off-road. I don't know why that counted. That might have just been him coming down pit road. I'm not sure what happened to the 39 there. I was trying to find it myself, and I don't really see anything that happened there. Like, it scored it as being off-road on my end.
Yeah, he might have touched the grass coming onto pit road because it is super close over there. Oh, man, Chris Medford goes wide right here. Medford has had a charge up through the field, Ellis. 6 laps on this set of tires right here. He's coming up on the rear bumper of Adam Holston. I think that this is a spot that he is going to get, Ellis. I think that he's going to get this spot from Holston because Holston, he's going to have to make a pit stop before the end of this thing. Holston cannot make it to the end, riding in the 4th spot here. Yeah, and I'm not sure. It looks like, yeah, Andrew Show might be a little bit too far back right here to challenge Chris Medford here for the 5th spot, unless Medford makes a mistake. So this is going to be a spot gain possibly for Medford up into the 4th spot after that unfortunate incident that he had happen.
The incident we shall not speak of, but right now he's put that in the rearview mirror. Chris, he's going to get a big old run on the number 8 of Holston, who struggled out of the corner right before Kettle Bottom as they head down towards Canada Corner here. He didn't even need that heavy braking zone to make that pass on Holston. 2nd place in points, push back to the 5th position, still top 5. But he's going to see Evan Janik likely creep further away in the point standings after the night that Janik has had going. In the chat right now, everything at it said Medford is up to 5th. We got a Medford fan in the chat. Let us know who you are rooting for. Who are you here to support? And we're going to offer another half a point in trivia. This could be the difference between the win and not win. Another half a point on the board if you can send another viewer our way and they let us know that you sent them. Let's pack this let's pack this chat out and help us out and get as many viewers in here as possible, and hit that like button and subscribe if you have not already done so. That just makes it even more fun in the chat and gets even more eyeballs on the drivers that you are here to support. We'll give half point away if you can get another fan in here who lets us know that you sent them in the chat. Right now, Holston on pit road, Chris. This is going to be his final stop of the night. He's going to give up that top 5 he had going, but he's going to be on freshies. That is fresh Goodyear rubber for the remaining 6 laps of this race. He's going to be probably lighting them up pretty good as we watch him roll off the pit road. That second place in points, Adam Holston. He's going to have to track down Gavin Henson. He's going to have about 12 seconds of space to gain on Henson. I'm just not sure, unless he's just smoking him. I don't know how he's going to get back to Henson's back bumper here. Or Henson's back bumper before the end of this thing.
Yeah, he's off track right here.
Holston, yeah.
Locking him up right there on those cold tires. Cold tires on road courses. It's hard to go fast right out of the pits. Holston's, he's going to have his work cut out for him, I think, especially after that little incident to catch the driver ahead, Gavin Henson, before the end of this thing. Unless Henson makes a mistake, which, we've seen a lot of drivers make mistakes tonight, so who knows?
No driver has been exempt from mistakes, I don't believe. Evan Janet, Chris, even just a lap or so after we talked to him talking about the marbles, he got it off track there. Didn't really lose much time on the rest of the field as he leads with just 5 laps left in the books tonight. But, Chris, just looking through the field right now, all the way up to 13th, Reggie Kime, 2 laps down or more. All the way up to 8th place is 1 lap down. Ronnie Foster, the first car, a lap down. Holston's going to be next, and I do not think that Janik's going to get up to Holston. There's about 2 minutes of time. We talked about this being a 4-minute racetrack in terms of time to get around. 4-mile racetrack in terms of time to get around. And you might get to him. One car, Chris, is off track. That was Steve Gill in the 01. I believe that Janik's going to have to get by here in just a moment as they work their way through the carousel, one of the trickier parts of the track. And Gill's looks like he's going to get, Gill a little bit loose off the corner here. Janik being very delicate and very careful.
Be careful
here, and I don't blame him. It's not worth the issue. Steve Gill going to get out of the way there. I thought getting in that grass gave me a little bit of a scare, and I think it probably gave Janik a bit of a scare there as well. We appreciate everyone in the chat. Jeff Fisher wondering if anyone from Nebraska, that is who he's supporting. I'm guessing Jeff is from Nebraska. Go Huskers. Zach White off the track in front of Evan Janik, Chris. Janik's have to dodge him here. He's going to have to earn his paycheck here in the final 5 laps of this race. Oh, we got one in here. Bananowicz, I'm guessing, was sent by Everything Edits. We'll give a half a point away to Everything Edits. That puts him up to 3 points on the night. Caleb Hunt not out of the hunt, I should say, with 2 points for trivia. We're going to do a third trivia question. Chris, I think it might be a good time to go ahead and maybe do that trivia question.
Let's do it.
All right, trivia question number 3. If you're playing at home, first 2 correct answers to be typed into the chat are going to get the points. 2 questions left. Question number 3. What eerie remnant of Road America's early racing days still exists just off the track property? Is it a buried pace car from 1955? Well, that's creepy. An abandoned race control tower? Is it the ghost of a wrecked driver? Or parts of the original open road race course, including the streets that ran through the town? What is the correct answer? What eerie remnant of Road America's early racing days still exists just off the track property? Type your answers in the chat. Put some form of what the answer is, not just the letter, but what form, some form of the answer into the chat. First two correct answers will get the point.
And Ellis,
oh boy, yeah, go ahead.
Do we have a leaderboard update? I think that Everything Edits is at 2.5 points, if I'm not mistaken.
2.5, yep. And Caleb Hunt is at 2.
Okay.
Hey, mark that. I should say mark Everything Edits up to 3.5. Comic book guy in here saying Everything Edits sent me. Appreciate those folks joining. It'd be even better if they hit that subscribe button so they could come back and hang out with Everything Edits every Wednesday night, or Thursday night, I should say. We'll go ahead and reveal the answer for that trivia question in just a moment. Couple answers coming into the chat right now. Looking through the rest of the field while we leave that question up for a couple moments. Looking at what kind of ground Chris Medford's making up here. Medford, let's see. Medford is about 9 seconds off of Andrew Allen, Chris, and he's about 2 seconds faster every single lap. So when we get done with trivia, putting the answer up there, I'm curious if we can go on board with Medford, maybe hit up that battle box to see what it's looking like it's going to take for Medford to reel in Andrew Allen. Couple answers here in the chat. Couple answers. We got parts of the old racetrack, an abandoned race control tower, Connor says. Oh, Bananowicz says, not going to lie, I'm glad I was sent here. That's pretty cool. Thanks you for saying that. Appreciate you tuning in. Absolutely glad to have you. Couple more moments on that trivia question. Get your answers in. There's still time. There's still time, especially if you send some folks our way. About 4 laps left in this race until the conclusion. Give it another opportunity for a couple folks to get their answers in here. Riding on board, or sorry, riding with Chris Medford right now. And that gap continues to shrink, Chris, on Andrew Allen. Just about 8.2 seconds left. Not as fast that time by as he was the time before, but he is closing.
He is. He is definitely closing.
Go ahead and give the answer to that third trivia question. What eerie remnant of Road America's early racing days still exists just off the property? It's parts of the original open road race course that ran through town streets that are still kind of part of that racetrack property and complex. The point there goes to Everything Edits. Boy, they've been in winning form tonight. Everything Edits going to score that additional trivia point. Take him to 4.5. We'll get that up on the leaderboard here shortly before we hit up our final question of the night, right as the checkered flag flies in just a few laps. Stick around. Don't miss it. You still got a chance in trivia, especially if you send some folks into the chat to let us know that you sent a boy. Chris, Brett Wren, something must have just happened. His heart rate is through the roof right now as we watch. I don't know if Medford's going to have the speed to get up to Andrew Allen based on what our data and our predictor is telling us.
Yeah, I don't think that is... I think that maybe it's a little bit off right there on the overtake projection, because I think it's going to be difficult. I think catching them and passing them is two different things. I think he's going to have his hands full to try to catch him before the end of this thing. And if he does catch him, can he make the pass here? I think that's going to be the big question is, he's got to get around these lap cars also. Zach White doing a nice job staying out of the way of Medford here.
Medford continues to roll it around. He picked up a big old chunk that time, but yeah, I just don't, like you said, I don't think he's going to have the time to get it done. He might prove us wrong, and hey, I hope he does, and he makes a fight of it here at the end, but it's lap 35 of 37 in the books. Just less than 3 laps to go for Evan Janik. Chris, Janik's on pit road here. Something going on with Janik.
Well, he also has...
The 71 is on pit road.
Yeah, and it could be a situation where he has a large enough lead. I'm not sure, Ellis, if Mystic Racing League awards a bonus point to the driver with the fastest lap. I don't know if maybe that's what he's going with, but yeah, that might be his thinking right here.
Not a bad thinking. I'm very risk averse, so I'm not coming in. I'm not changing the balance of the. Oh, Brett Wren, right off in front of him, Chris. Big moment for the leader, Evan Janik. We had just talked about the risk with coming in and kind of changing the balance of the car and putting yourself back in traffic, and it almost came to be there. Brett Wren sideways off that corner, and my goodness, Evan Janik, his heart was probably in his throat.
It probably was right here. Watching right here. Rewind back to see this deal right here going down into turn 3. This is Brett Wren. Yeah, I see that thing moving around a little bit under braking beforehand. Yeah, and he has the wheels turned to the left, but then he locks them down, which is a smart move right there from Brett.
Oh, Chris, I was just about to say a battle between Andrew Allen and Alex Pollock. It wasn't on the same lap, but Pollock in the 92 almost got into the back of third place Andrew Allen. Believe that might have been in turn number 5 or 6 that happened, but boy, that was a moment as well. So the laps have clicked away, and we've reached the near end of the race, but the drama has not ended tonight, especially for Evan Janik, who we almost saw have a real serious issue. And Chris, in the chat, Chris Medford's closed it within 5 seconds of Andrew Allen. Rough Raven warning us in the chat. It's now down. It's back up a little bit to 6 seconds. Not sure if Medford had some trouble there, but he certainly was closing it there for a couple of laps. The pace has since fallen off a little bit for that 46, though.
Yeah, he was faster this last lap, but unfortunately, the rate at which he was catching Andrew Allen has kind of diminished a little bit as he's going to go off the track right here through the kink right here. He is trying to carry every bit of momentum that he can, driving it as hard as he possibly can. Unfortunately, I think he's going to run out of time, but a great recovery drive. Great perseverance out of Chris Medford tonight.
Great perseverance indeed out of Chris Medford. So many drivers have gritted it out tonight, Chris. Really just doing yeoman's work here on the racetrack all night long. I don't think any driver has kind of been short of having any sort of maybe dramatic moment on the track tonight as we watch the 27 of Christian Barnes work his way up to second place. Chris started in third, top two. This would be Christian's best finish of the season, if I am not mistaken. So shout out to that 27, a little bit sideways off turn 3, headed down into turn 4, but he's got a good night going.
Yeah, he does. He's been real solid all night. We saw him earlier in the night. He had that little bit of an incident, but he's recovered nicely from that. He's been in the top 3 or 4 all night long. Just real quiet, good solid performance tonight. And he's going to walk out of this thing with a possible podium finish if he can get through these next couple laps.
You can't complain about a podium finish indeed. As we watch Christian Barnes roll around the racetrack, just looking through the rest of the field, the battles have settled down here in the waning laps. I think drivers oh boy, Chris, Andrew Allen and Brett Wren. Big contact through the corner there. Big moment. That's going to allow Alex Pollock to slip by, and this is going to...
There's Chris Medford.
This is going to bring Chris Medford into it. Big battle. Things have changed. Can Andrew Allen hold off Chris Medford for third position?
Oh, he's off track.
Allen off the track. Can he hold on to it as they go through Speedville into the carousel? This is happening with 1 lap left. Getting ready to take the white flag is leader Evan Janik. We had just talked about Medford really wasn't going to have a chance to run down Andrew Allen, but boy, Andrew Allen and Brett Wren, big moment there, and that might have been on Andrew Allen as he got into the back of Brett Wren in that corner.
Yeah, that's just a difference in speed right there between a car not on the lead lap and a car, that is in the podium spots right there, and unfortunately it looks like that. Yeah, Andrew Allen maybe misjudged the closing distance right there, got into the back of Brett Wren.
Man, and by the way, Muffin the Chicken says, I was sent here by Bananawich. Man, thank you. Bananawich was sent here. He sent someone else here. Good night. Here in the Slingshot chat, we appreciate everyone tuning in. And certainly, if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you a thing, and it helps us get more eyeballs on your drivers, and it makes the chat even more interesting. Right now, white flag has waved, Chris, for Evan Janik. He is making his final time around the racetrack in that 71. We'll be monitoring that other battle. I don't think Andrew Allen's necessarily going to have the time to catch Medford. I say that. He's back to the back bumper. So we'll monitor both battles going on here right now. The biggest one, however, is for the 4th position. They're going to have to catch Alex Pollock here. Andrew Allen's going to be working on the back bumper of Medford, who's got to work his way by Pollock. We'll keep an eye on that battle, Chris. You can keep the camera rolling on that. I'll head up to Evan Janik to make sure we don't miss anything on that 71. He slides it through the corner a little bit, but that battle continues. Can Andrew Allen close up on the back bumper as we watch Medford go by Pollock, who gentlemanly gets out of the way? They're going to do their best. I don't know if Allen's going to be able to catch him, Chris.
I don't know if he is either. It's going to be really difficult for him to catch it. Evan Janik is right here making his way through Kettle Bottoms. No pressure at all for the 71. Meanwhile, right here, this battle for the 3rd spot, it's still fairly close. I think it's going to take a dive bomb. It's going to take a pretty desperate move, and I don't know if Andrew Allen's going to be willing to throw his race away in order to do that to get this 3rd spot.
I think you're probably right. Caution is the name of the game. We didn't have any cautions tonight, Chris, and Evan Janik really threw caution to the wind with blazing lap times all night long. He said, we asked drivers what their favorite animal and what their spirit animal was. Evan Janik said he thought it was probably a lion, and we saw a lion-like performance tonight by Evan Janik. He's going to win here at Road America in race number 12. For the Fall Creek Plumbing Series, it's going to be Janik claiming his third win of the season, and that number 71. But we're keeping an eye on this battle for fourth or third position. I don't think Allen's going to have the speed to get it done. Christian Barnes crosses the line here in just a moment to get his best finish of the season in second. Chris Medford continues to hold on to third position. They're going to work their way up the front straightaway, and I think that's going to be all she wrote for Medford and Andrew Allen. Going to be Medford who closes out that podium position here at Road America. Great race. We've got trivia. Final question of the night coming up here in just a moment. We'll hear from Evan Janik, Christian Barnes, and Chris Medford here shortly. But, Chris, we got some trivia business to attend to here real quick. One final question on the night before we hear from our top three, including the winner. What rare animal, speaking of animals, might you spot near the track in the surrounding Kettle Moraine region? Is it an albino deer, a gray wolf, a whooping crane, or a black bear? What animal are you likely to spot near the racetrack here in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin? Let us know what you think the correct answer is in the chat. It's a close contest. Everything Edits has 4.5. Caleb Hunt has 2. This might be Caleb's opportunity to get back in the game with this final question. Let us know what the answer is to that trivia question. Hey, by the way, a couple comments, very thoughtful, appreciating these comments in the chat. Jeff Fisher says, found you guys by accident, saved for more good race and good show. Thank you again. Thank you, Jeff, for joining us. Banana Witch says, this is better racing than NASCAR Bristol race last weekend. I cannot agree more, Banana Witch. We appreciate you tuning in as well. Hey, while we're getting these drivers queued up in the booth to hear how their race went, let us know what the correct answer is in the chat for that trivia question on the board right now. We'll go ahead and get Chris Medford. We're going to pull him into the chat first. Give us just a moment. Okay. Where are you, Chris Medford? There you are. All right. Going to bring him in. Hey, Chris Medford, it's Ellis and Chris in the Slingshot booth. You got a copy, my friend?
I do. How you guys doing?
Hey, man, we are doing good. I don't know if we're doing as good as you right now with that third place finish tonight. We saw you get by Andrew Allen there in the final going. We weren't sure if you're going to make it happen, but we know Andrew ran into some trouble on that next to last lap. Walk us through tonight. You know, it's kind of a night of ups and downs. We saw you have heavy contact in one of the corners. What happened there that sent you careening into the wall?
Lack of talent. I had a brain fart, so the tires weren't very good on the first lap. I mean, they was good, don't be wrong, but the grip wasn't there, and I just missed my braking point and just smoked the wall, and then went into the next turn and smoked the wall again. So that added probably 45 seconds to my time. Now, was I faster than Evan? No. I mean, that dude was on rails. I don't know if I set fastest time or not. That was probably a fluke. But no, that dude is on rails. I think he led all the laps. And, I was just fighting for second and finished third.
Well, man, you did a heck of a job out there. It was a battle of attrition all night long. We're off next week. What are you gonna do with your off week?
I don't know. Probably work.
Oh man.
Right. What do we have to work for? No, I'm not sure what I want to do next week. Probably just hang out with the family. I got a 2-month-old son that sometimes likes to fight his sleep. So I'll probably spend some time with him and I don't know, just hang out, I guess.
Man, you're lucky you get to race one night a week on Thursday nights with that 2-year-old at home. I know that. Do you say 2 years or 2 months?
2 months.
Oh my gosh. I don't know which is worse. What's the hardest part of doing this while you have a 2-month-old?
I guess maybe just paying attention, to him. But luckily I'm blessed with a great wife that will take care of him. He's He's named after me and my dad and her dad, so he's pretty special to us. We didn't think we could have any kids, and here I am at 33 years old having my first. So it's been great. Obviously, I love the little dude for pieces, and I just can't wait to see what the future holds. And the wife thinks he's going to be a racer, so I might as well get a second job while I'm out.
Awesome. Well, yeah, racing is expensive, but hey, another racer in the family. That's awesome, man. Third race here with Mystic Racing League, and you finished third tonight. Heck of showing, best finish of the season. Congrats. Before we let you go, any shout outs you want to give?
Yep. Shout out to you guys for the broadcast. Shout out to Evan and Christian for the top two. Andrew, I hate that, what happened between him and Brett. I was hoping me and him could, battle it out. Shout out to Fall Creek Plumbing out of Pendleton, Indiana. It's close to me, so if anybody in Indiana needs some plumbing work, give them a call. They do great work at reasonable prices. Shout out to all the admins for putting up with us, and can't wait for the next one.
All right, man. Chris Mepper, good job out here. Third place finish. Go celebrate.
Yep, thank you.
All right, that was Chris Mepper. Now we're going to pull in Christian Barnes, our second place finisher. Chris, I will let you, in just a moment, take it away.
Christian Barnes, our second place finisher tonight. This is a Slingshot booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Christian, man, you had a really, really quiet night, the second half of the race right there, but we saw you run into some trouble earlier in the race, but you made a nice recovery to grab this podium tonight. What was the most difficult thing you had to deal with tonight? It seemed like there was seemed like a lot of obstacles that drivers had to overcome out there around Road America.
Yeah, I think the main thing is tires, wearing and the car changing throughout the entire run. When you get new tires, it's loose, and then once you get old tires, it's tight. So you basically have to change your driving style throughout the entire race. And they're just not overstepping it, because it's very easy on road courses to accelerate just a little too early and you're going around.
Now, Christian, we saw a lot of gravel on the track tonight. It seemed like drivers were driving through rocky alleys for most of the night tonight. Did that present any challenges for you out there?
Oh, for sure. I think lap 1 was probably the cleanest lap, and then the rest of it you're having to deal with debris. So it wasn't as bad as it probably could be. So it didn't cause me too many issues, but it's still there.
You navigated it very nicely all night tonight. Next week, here, everybody at Mystic Racing League got a week off right here in the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series before 2 weeks' time heading to Gateway. How do you feel about your chances at Gateway coming up here in 2 weeks?
Honestly, I feel pretty good. I've been getting better and better, especially with the Xfinity Series. I think I've been putting decent finishes together, so I feel like a win's coming. I feel like it's coming. I don't know when, but I feel like it's coming.
Well, we definitely got our eyes on you. We definitely think it's probably coming as well. We're looking forward to seeing you out there at Gateway in 2 weeks' time. Before we let you go celebrate this great second place finish, you got any shout outs?
I want to shout out Alex Pollock for the paint scheme. I appreciate him for that. I think, so that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, hey, man, congratulations on a great second place finish. That's Christian Barnes, second place finisher tonight. Great run out there tonight.
Thank you very much.
All right, that was Christian Barnes. We're trying to manipulate the broadcast booth here. Give me 1 second. Get into the waiting room. And that leaves one individual left to be interviewed. That's the winner tonight. That is Evan Janik. We're going to hear from him right now. Hey, Evan Janik, driver 71. It's Ellis and Chris in the Slingshot booth. You got a copy?
Yep, gotcha.
Hey, man, whoa, I'm just watching the trackside shots right now, and the debris out there is crazy. And just to start with, hopefully we didn't distract you too bad. You had a moment about half a lap after you got done chatting with us. What happened there? I think that was maybe the lone off track we saw you have all evening. Was that a debris-related off track?
Yeah, as soon as I went to hit the brakes, I lost the rears and just slowly tried to catch it and just not spin out and lose the least amount of time as possible.
Well, man, you did a heck of a job out there. You claimed I'm looking through my stats, and correct me if I'm wrong. This is just win number 2 on the season for you. Is that right?
Yeah. I've think I've had top 3 speed almost every single outing. It's just that whether it be strategy, just luck, a lot of different things have gone not right for me. So finally good to get a couple and to keep it going.
Well, you've done a heck of a job all season long. You're going to extend your points lead over Adam Holston here, and you got an off week coming up here. I know after tonight, you're probably going to need it. We talked to you about what was really the toughest over the course of the race tonight. I'm looking at our schedule. I know we've got an off week. First of all, what are you doing during your off week on Thursday night instead of racing over here?
Probably getting my car ready. Next week, I'm going to be testing my street stock that I'm racing. So I'm going to be in the shop doing everything I can to get it ready. So Saturday morning we can hit it running.
Oh, where are you going to be racing it?
Lancaster Motorplex in Lancaster, New York.
Oh, that's awesome. I know you are a New York driver. So are the street stocks pretty big up there?
Oh, yeah. It's actually one of the fullest fields that we have in classes. It's sad. The late models usually are the least amount modifieds. We get a decent showing, but street stocks definitely has at least 25 cars each race.
Wow. Well, good luck out there. When we get back from that off break, we're going to be at Gateway over in St. Louis. Different type of track. What do you make of your chances there? You going to have speed?
Oh, yeah, I think so. I've liked that track. I really haven't had any issues with a lot of the tracks on here. So just practice during the week with my team and be ready for another top 3.
All right, man. We'll go out there and get it here in a couple weeks. Enjoy your off week. Before we let you go, start that off week. What shout out you got?
Thank you to Fall Creek Big National Series for sponsoring this series. Thank you to my team, 5-Star Racing, 9222 Designs, and Super Oil Pros for their support here and on my street stock in real life.
All right, man. Enjoy. Have a good off week and good luck at the racetrack.
All right, thanks.
Sure. All right, so you heard from all 3 of the top 3 finishers tonight. Chris, it was a wild ride for most drivers out there at some point over the course of these 37 laps here at the 4-mile road course, Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Go ahead and take a look at the final results for tonight. We heard from Janet Barnes and Medford. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
We got something we got to do first. We got to answer this trivia question.
Oh, yes, you are right. You're reminding me of trivia now. Man, I got to get back in my game here. The final answer, the final question, what rare animal might you spot near the track in the surrounding region? It's the albino deer. The albino deer. And looking through our answers here in the YouTube chat, I believe that puts our winner as Everything Edits. Everything Edits is the winner with that correct answer. Congratulations. We appreciate them tuning in, I think, for the first time tonight. Not only that, but sending a few people our way to watch as well. Our email address is going to be on the screen. You should be able to email ssracingleagues@gmail.com. Let us know what your address is, and we'll send that diecast Kyle Busch car to you free, absolutely no charge at all. Shipping's on the house, and I hope you enjoy it and have it as a nice display piece on your shelf. Tune in next week because we're going to do more trivia. Actually, off week next week, but 2 weeks from now we'll be doing more trivia at Gateway. So be on the lookout for that. Now we'll do our final results for tonight. Thank you for reminding me of that, Chris. Evan Janik, Barnes, Medford, they finished 1st through 3rd. Andrew Allen couldn't get Medford in the end after having a off-track excursion that sent him back to 4th. Andrew Shobe, great night, finishing 5th in that number 69. Gavin Henson up there all night long, gets a 6th place finish. Adam Holston, 2nd place in points, going to lose a little bit of ground tonight with that still solid 7th place finish. Ronnie Foster, shout out, Chris. We talked about him earlier in the race. Brings it home 8th. Good job to Ronnie in that 6th. Alex Pollock brings it home 9th. Aaron Espy, a couple off-track excursions, but he holds on to it. 3rd star of the season. He's going to finish in the 10th position. Yeah, 11th.
I was going to go ahead and just roll on from right here. Yeah, we'll go ahead and round up the top 20 right here. Derek Jewett, Ellis. Derek Jewett, he started 16th on the field. We saw him charge up through there. Unfortunately, had a few obstacles he had to overcome in the race. He's going to have to settle for 11th tonight. Stephen Gill in the 12th spot. Reggie Kime going to finish 13th in the Mystery Machine. 14th is going to be Douglas Wasaki. David Moyer going to finish in the 15th spot. Saw Brett Wren with that late spin right there, but still kept that heart rate really low all night. He's going to finish in the 16th spot. Alan Zukov persevered all night and brought it home in the 17th spot in that Jegs machine. In the 18th spot, got Zach White. Jacob Cochran going to finish in 19th. Real difficult night for Jacob tonight. He's going to look to rebound here in a couple weeks at Gateway. And Gino Vellante, on his birthday, is going to get a top 20 finish.
Top 20 for Gino. 21st and 22nd, Brandon Wheeler, Caleb Hunt. They had some trouble earlier on in the race that put them to the back on pit road and into the garage. So, Chris, not a driver I don't think did not have trouble tonight, as we mentioned here at Road America. Still a great race. Evan Janik really put on a clinic. And that is, at long road courses like that, it is a battle of attrition, and you tend to have a cream of the crop, and that definitely rose to the top tonight. But 2 weeks from now, we're headed to St. Louis at Gateway, and it's going to be a wild one. Are we calling it Gateway or Worldwide Technology Speedway? Either one. It's going to be a great racetrack. What do you...
I was going to say, it'll always be Gateway in my mind.
What's different about Gateway than any of the other tracks we've raced this season?
Ellis, it's very unique on both corners. You've got one end that is pretty sharp. Turns 1 and 2, very, very sharp. A little bit banking. You kind of got to run a little bit high there, and almost do like a late apex before you get off of turn 2. And then turns 3 and 4, it's almost like Milwaukee. Very flat, wide, sort of sweeping corner. So I like it. It's always been one of my favorite tracks to race at because it's got a little bit of a short track feel to it, but it's not really a short track. And both ends are very, very unique from one another. Very unique track just in general, and I always like going to tracks that are just a little bit different. So looking forward to seeing these guys at Gateway.
It's going to be a great race. Then we got 2 weeks. We got an off week next Thursday, but we'll see you 2 weeks from now here on Slingshot TV for Mystic Racing League and the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. This is Ellis Thomas and Chris Smith. Everyone have a great couple of weeks. We'll see you in St. Louis.